Welcome to Suite 303. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. We're here on location in Artscape, Winchwood Barns, St. Clair, and Christie. I'm here, we are very excited. I'm here with the MPP Jill Andrew. Jill, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
We are very excited. Jill is from our district, from our community. What we're going to do is we're going to set up a dynamic interview learning all about Jill, the NDP, and her district. So Jill, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and then we'll just go from there.
Absolutely. My name is Jill Andrew. I am proudly the MPP for Toronto St. Paul's, and I am a member of the NDP official opposition. I am also the culture critic, which means I have great fun coming out to Artscape Winchwood Barns, which is truly one of the main arteries of the arts and culture and the vitality of the St. Paul's neighborhood.
It so much is. It's such a wonderful neighborhood. It's very community driven, great residents, great corporations. People, you have to come down to St. Clair and Christie. We have a splash pad, we have a dog park, we have a volleyball net system outside. It's a wonderful, the community's great. Jill, I know now you are newly elected.
I am.
So tell us about your journey and tell us a little bit what you did before you got into politics.
Absolutely. Well, I'm newly elected on June 7th, 2018, and I was sworn in on July 11th, so it still feels somewhat like yesterday. I'm still excited and getting to know the role better, and certainly appreciating being embraced by so many of the fine folks here in Toronto St. Paul's. So really, in terms of my background before this, I call myself a lifelong educator. I've always been inspired and deeply rooted in the idea that education truly is one of the #1 ways that we can, demonstrate our agency, our autonomy, and our ability to learn and go out into the world and share our knowledge with others and also learn from each other. So I've been a child and youth worker, a high school teacher, most recently a student equity program advisor at the Toronto District School Board, and also a college and university lecturer where I taught fashion diversity, particularly at Ryerson University.
One busy lady.
Very busy lady. I also finished my PhD in education.
Congratulations.
Surprise, surprise.
Wow.
While I was sitting in the house. So it's been a very busy, very life-altering 6-7 months.
Well, I do want to touch a little bit on your education because, again, the Disability Channel is working closely with the TDSB and Chris Glover.
Yes.
So I know you know Chris. Chris is a great
Glover.
guy.
Yes, he is.
Chris was so instrumental getting us into the TDSB. So I want to thank Chris, and I know now he's a fellow MPP.
Oh, yes, and I'd like to thank Chris on behalf of all the educators that he's championed for, as well as our young people, too.
So can you tell us, I know our viewers are very interested, can you tell us a little bit of your day-to-day operations and how that benefits the community?
Right on. Day-to-day operations. So right now, we are going through what's called our constituency block. We don't return to Queen's Park until February 19th, unless we're otherwise told. And really, the goal of this time is to connect with constituents, and you do that through a variety of ways. One-on-one meetings, in-person, a phone call, getting through your emails, meeting with stakeholders. So currently, we're having what's called, or what we're calling, an arts tour. MPP Andrew's Culture Critic Arts Tour throughout TO St. Paul's. So today we had the pleasure of meeting with Artistic Director Catherine Hernandez at Be Current, which is just upstairs. So again, this is a time where we're really trying to reach out to community, hear what those concerns are, take feedback to our party, feedback to my constituency office, which is at 803 St. Clair West.
There you go.
And connect the best way we can. When we're in the House, the Legislative Assembly of Ontario, the House, the Chambers, Queen's Park, there's so many various colloquial labels attached. We just ask questions and questions. We try to hold our government accountable to the reasons or to the issues, I should say, that are near and dear to the hearts of our constituents. And we also do member statements, which are amazing 90-second plugs that we can do for issues and individuals and constituents that come to us, or causes and issues, I should say, that are really relevant and that need to have their voice is amplified. Great. So as an MPP, I can do that. I can help by helping to amplify the voices of others that may not have access that we have. So that's certainly one of the high points. We also get to introduce private members' bills. So for my private members bill, I introduced Bill 61, a bill to make the first week of February Eating Disorders Awareness Week, which we know is something that impacts hundreds of thousands of people right here in Ontario. Amongst those, racialized communities, LGBT communities, disabled communities. Eating disorders do not discriminate.
You have a lot on your plate.
Lots.
Again, we're here with MPP Jill Andrew. We're here at Artscape, Winchwood Bar in St. Clair, and Christy. We're very excited. We're learning all about what Jill does in her new role as an NDP MPP. Wow, that's a lot. So this is great. So tell us a little bit what you have on your plate today.
So today, again, we're meeting with the fine folks such as yourself from TDC. We've also met with our artistic director. We're doing a tour of a center in our riding that provides life-saving services for new immigrants and newcomers to our country. And just meetings and meetings and meetings and connections, and really trying to build networks is what we're trying to do.
Well, I know the NDP, Jill and Chris and Andrea and Wayne and Monique have all been very integral in our employment program, along with our accessibility program, as we are running rampant here in Toronto. It's great, and we're going to be spreading our programs hopefully out to the region of Peel. We have lots of support, including a Paramount Fine Food Center, the CEO, Mohammed Faki, very instrumental, along with Bonnie Crombie, Hazel. So we're very excited, and we do want to bring all the parties in, NDP, Liberal Party, PC, and Green Party. We know that everybody has their own focus, but when it comes to supporting youth, persons with disabilities, and veterans, we can all get on the same page. Talking about, you mentioned a little bit about the LBGT community. Can you tell us a little bit how you see a similarity between that community and, say, the abilities community?
Well, what I can say immediately is I recognize that in this particular political climate that we're in, marginalized communities, underserved communities, communities that have historically been disadvantaged, often don't get our voices heard at the table, as much as some other communities might. So I do believe that we're fighting to be heard. I think we're fighting to be recognized as groups that need not a leg up, but need accessible, equitable and inclusive access to resources that I feel should be human rights, like housing, for instance, like sound employment, like being able to make a livable wage, like being able to have access to health care, and not having to choose between your light bill and and the dentist visit or whatnot. We need to have things like universal pharmacare, universal dental care. Like there are certain things that we need access to.
So important. So let me say this: if the NDP needs an added platform, the Disability Channel is here to help.
That would be amazing.
Here to support,
absolutely.
And we want to extend it to all four parties. So we think what we're doing is very, very integral, very important, very instrumental, and we cannot do it without people like MPP Jill Andrew. Jill, before I let you go, if people want to learn more about politics in general, more about the NDP, more about the platform, or how to get involved, what should they do?
Well, first of all, they can visit us online at jillandrewmpp.ca. We also have a Facebook page, MPP Jill Andrew Toronto St. Paul's, and we have a Twitter account, Jill's Last Word. On either of those platforms, you can connect with my constituency office, which again is located at 803 St. Clair Avenue West. And of course, we're always there to welcome you with a smile and to try to offer any answers we can to any concerns you may have. So thank you very much.
Well, MPP, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you very much.
Again, you're watching the Disability Channel in Suite 303. I'm Jay Stoyan. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Jay.
Awesome.